In this video, we're going to break down the recently revealed Jedi Master Plo Koon from Star Wars Shatterpoint. Hey guys, Rich from Rich Mid Gaming. I hope everyone is doing fantastically well. Yes, we are carrying on that MiniStravaganza train. We've just recently come off the back of the Star Wars Shatterpoint panel, which sort of looked at all the upcoming releases, or some of the upcoming releases, and they did give us some character reveals there, and one of those characters was Jedi Master Plo Koon, a character I know a lot of people have been very eagerly anticipating and waiting for. So let's jump over and take a look at him. So before we get into Plo Koon himself, I did want to show you everything else that is coming in his box. So it is, of course, the Wolf Pack. You've got your two support units there, your two support characters. You've got your secondary, but you will also notice that you get a secondary in this, a second secondary, which is, of course, Padawan Ahsoka Tano, a secondary character that I absolutely love playing with, and was available as a pre-order bonus, but not everybody got their hands on it. This is going to be your opportunity to be able to get your hands on that. Does that increase the price of the pack? I think it probably will. Is it annoying if you've already got her? Because let's be honest, you're ultimately having to pay for something that you've already got. It is a little bit. I think I would have preferred them to have released her as an individual character. Now, we've known this information for a while, but either way, guys, this is going to be your way to not only get hold of Plo Koon and the Wolf Pack, but to get hold of Padawan Ahsoka Tano as well. So let's move on then and take a look at Jedi Master Plo Koon. So we can see here, I mean, first of all, that model is absolutely amazing. Really love that. They did talk on the panel about, they went through various sculpts. They were trying to sort of get one with him double-handed sort of blocking, but it just didn't really work. But I think this is a really nice dynamic pose. Obviously, Plo Koon is all about defending or putting himself on the line and defending others around him, and as we'll get into his card, I think they've done a really good job at showing that. So he's going to bring 8 squad points with him, and he is going to cost, or he's going to bring 3 force power with him as well, 3 force with him as well. So let's jump over and take a look at his main card proper. So this is, of course, Jedi Master Plo Koon, and he's going to bring with him 10 stamina and 3 durability. So that 3 durability, again, pretty standard for most of the primary characters that are out there. Let's take a quick look at what he's got on his card in the way of abilities then. So he does bring a tactic ability with him. So it says, I know if we work together, we will stay alive. At the start of this unit's activation, choose an Allied Galactic Republic unit. Each character in the chosen unit may dash. Then, if the chosen unit was a trooper or Padawan, one character in this unit may dash. So you're essentially or potentially getting up to 3 dashes there. Very good opening move. Really good to get characters up and around on the board. But I also do like that he is able to move the Padawan. So, you know, right now we've only got 2, Barry and Ahsoka, and he gets to move as well, but obviously all of the support units for Galactic Republic have got that trooper tag, yeah, it's going to be, I think that's going to be really good. One of my favourite tactics, I think, so far that we've seen in the game, and the fact that there's no range requirement on this either. I think this is very solid. It's going to make for some really good opening turn 1 plays if you do pull Plo Koon, or even later on in the game, just when you want to get those troopers or indeed your Padawans around the board. And the fact that he gets to then do the dash for free. Luminara is sat there still very sad. So he's got 1 active ability, which is going to be Force Push. Choose a character in this unit and an enemy character within range 3 of that character. The chosen enemy is pushed 3 away from the chosen allied character. We've seen it before. It's on plenty of other characters. Very, very strong ability. It does come at a premium, costing 2 force, especially if he becomes wounded. I think that's, that is an absolute premium. But I think this is really, really good. And it's always nice to have it in there in your back pocket, just to make sure you do actually take over a point or retake an objective. He does have deflect. Again, it's going to be absolute standard. So if your attacker has got more than one or more failure results in their ranged attack, he just gets to dish 2 damage back out to them. Remembering that that deflect will also cost 1 more when he takes his first wounded token. And then his identity. This one, guys, is very, very interesting. We can do this the simple way or the difficult way. While this unit is not wounded, when another Galactic Republic character within range 3 is targeted by an attack, this unit may gain Expose. If it does, the defending character may use this unit's defense expertise chart during the attack. Then, after the attack is resolved, if the defending character was a trooper or Padawan, one character in this unit may dash towards that character. This opens up some very, very interesting plays. Now, obviously, getting a expose on your primary characters is never good. But as we know, with Obi-Wan Kenobi, there are ways for characters after an attack has taken place. They can spend those hunger tokens. They can then do dashes. They can do heals, those sorts of things. I'm thinking, guys, there's going to be some great synergy between Plo Koon and Obi-Wan Kenobi, because the idea is you target a unit, whatever unit that may be. Plo Koon takes the expose, so they can use his defensive tree, and we'll show you those trees in a second, and you'll see why you maybe want to use them. And then once the combat has completely taken place, that trooper, that Galactic Republic character, can then spend those hunger tokens and can then essentially heal that expose back off Jedi Master Plo Koon. Now, I do believe, looking at the wording of this, I think we need a forum clarification here. So it says, this unit may gain expose. If it does, the defending character may use this unit's expertise. So normally, if you already have an expose and you would gain another expose, then you just take a damage instead. I'm not sure if this will work in that way, or if it needs him to actually take the expose token. It'll be really, really interesting and to see what the ruling is on that. Because if that is the ruling, then there are definitely some very, very easy ways to take Plo Koon's leadership or identity just out of the game. You look at the ARF troopers who can just dish out and expose. You look at Maul, who can just dish it out. You look at the Night Sisters, who can dish it out. There's a couple of other units in there as well. I think one of the Inquisitors can do it. I think Savage Opress can do it. And it just basically turns this identity off. So it's going to be really interesting as to whether or not that second expose that you would gain turns into damage, whether or not that will count for this. So yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, he's a Force user, he's a Galactic Republic, and he is Jedi. Initial impressions, guys, I really, really like the theme, the sort of theme of this. I think they've captured Plo Koon incredibly well with how he is as a character, and the fact that he treats every trooper and he treats every Padawan as though they are as important as anybody else in the galaxy, and not only that, he puts his own life on the line to protect them at all costs, which I think this identity really, really does capture that quite nicely. Let's go and take a look then at his stance cards, because obviously he does come with 2. So starting out then, we have got his Form 5 gem. So we'll notice on here that this is very much his more aggressive side. He's only 5 defense dice, but he does have 7 attack dice and no ranged attack. Interesting, because Plo Koon is one of the very, very few light side characters in the Star Wars universe who can tap into Force Lightning and not sort of let it corrupt him over to the dark side. So he can tap into the light side of the Force and use lightning. You don't see it too often, but it's definitely there. He's definitely able to do it. And I thought they may have had that on his card as a Force lightning ability, but obviously they've chosen not to. His combat tree, let's have a look at what it is tapping out at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Now, why 9 damage on his lightsaber if you get the extra 1? Why do I think this is not great? Well, he falls into the trap that Luminara does, in that they are unable to take out a support unit in a single swing. However, I think he has a lot more going for him than Luminara because of everything else that he does with that. We can do the simple way or the hard way. So I actually think he's not, and not every character needs to be, the absolute damage dealers. This guy is far more of a finesse piece. He's far more of a support piece. And, he is there to try and keep everybody else alive around him. And, even on this side, that tenacious defense, 1 result is going to give you, 2 blocks. 3, you get the heal, and then 4, you get a heal and a jump as well. So it's pretty darn good. His lightsabers, I really like them. So 1 for 1, 2 for 2, and then on 3 you get 2 with the damage. I also like the fact that he can trigger his force push on this side as well. It's always really, really nice to see when you've got a more expensive, 2-cost active ability, if you've got the potential to be able to try and trigger that from your combat tree. It's just a huge saving of force, because you can always do it at the end if you don't get it, but it's nice to have that in there. He's dishing out quite a lot, a couple of conditions there. He's got a pin. Actually, no, it's just the 1 condition, because that's a jump. So he's got, he's got access to a jump. He's got a reposition. He's only got a single shove, and he's only got a single condition that he dishes out. But again, I don't feel like he is a character that is supposed to be out there just ripping through everybody else that is around him. Let's go over to then his defensive side. So, Form 3 Sorosu, and apologies for the little black lines on here. I'm not entirely sure why that's the case, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just the way that the image was captured, but it was on their side, not mine. So this is his much more defensive side, and you see now with that tenacious defense why we can do this the simple way or the difficult way could be so good at keeping some units alive, because I think within the Galactic Republic at least, dice manipulation on your defensive expertise is very much exclusive to the primary units. I don't think anybody else has it. Maybe Barry, maybe Ahsoka, but I don't think they do. So the fact that you can have troopers who, with all those hunker tokens, can be rolling a decent amount of dice. The problem is that even though you roll a decent amount of dice, for every crit your opponent rolls, usually with those support units, with those secondary units, you're not able to do anything about them. On 4 results here, you're getting 2 blocks, you're getting a crit to a strike, which means that you can block it, and you're getting a crit to a fail, which is really, really good. It is important to note that the unit that is going to be using his expertise, it's only his expertise, so they're not going to get to roll his dice or anything like that. So if they've only got 4 defense dice, they still only get to roll 4 defense dice. They're not going to be able to use his 6. And saying that, he does increase up to 6. He's only 5 on his attacking side here, and you can see that on his lightsaber, whilst the number of results stays the same, apart from in 4+ where he gets 3. He needs more to be able to do them, and the fact that they are not all crits like they were on the other side of his card. So 1 to 2 is going to be 2, 3 is going to be a crit and 1, 4 is going to be a crit and 2. So you know, nowhere near as good in terms of offensive ability. Interesting to see that we've got 2 examples on his combat tree here where they've got 3 different symbols, which is absolutely crazy. In fact, 3 examples where there's 3 different symbols. We've got a shove damage jump, we've got a shove heal damage, and then we've got a shove pin damage as well. So he doesn't have access to a lot of shoves on either side of his card, but the force push, I think, does make up for that. However, he doesn't have access to his force push on this side of the card. It's going to be really interesting as to what the sort of, not necessarily default stance is for Plo Koon. Obviously, it's very much within the moment of the game. But usually you can say, okay, as a character, I'm going to keep them on this side for 90% of the times, and then in some niche situations, I'll flip them over. I feel like you probably want to keep Plo Koon on his defensive side more, purely because of the extra dice, so giving him more survivability, but because of how good that tenacious defense is on this side, and the fact that he can give it to everybody else as well. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see. So overall, guys, I think Jedi Master Plo Koon is a welcome addition to the Galactic Republic and another Jedi. I really, really like him as a character, and I think they've captured him really, really well. I'm also really glad to see that whilst I don't think this will ever be the last Jedi and the last Galactic Republic units that we see, I do like the fact that we know that we're kind of coming to the end of this era of the Jedi, if you like, with some of the new reveals that we've got that we will cover in other videos as well, because I am getting a little bit of Galactic Republic fatigue in the game, to say the least. But a character like this, I think, is going to really shake up, and I really like the fact that Galactic Republic now have lots of different ways that you can mix and match. It still feels like Obi-Wan is the sort of core of that with those hunger tokens. It's just so strong. And I think Jedi Master Plo Koon may be the best pairing with him that we have had, because of that survivability that he just gives absolutely everybody on the battlefield. But yeah, there we go, guys. Let me know what you think. Are you excited about Jedi Master Plo Koon? What do you think of the MiniStravaganza so far? I think they've done a really, really good job. They caught me out earlier. I was very much doing fist pumps when I saw the Hondo artwork, and then, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see new card packs or new map packs, but I was like, that better not be it. And then they showed him, so it was all fine. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of Jedi Master Plo Koon, what your favourite thing from MiniStravaganza is so far. I want to give a big shout out to Leodis Games, the sponsor of the channel. They're a local wargaming club near me and store that support the channel, just making the content, making it much easier to push out there. And as an exclusive offer, they do have a £5 discount off your first order on, I think it's £50 or more. You'll find a link down in the description below. We also host a whole bunch of games and things there as well, so go and check them out. I want to say also a big thank you to our Patreon supporters. They make this so much easier to do, because I sometimes have to buy things that I maybe wouldn't necessarily want to buy, but you guys do make it much easier for me, so really appreciate that. And just with the general running of the channel and things that we need for it, so it really does help. And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so. There'll be a link down in the description below. But even just liking this video, sharing this video, making sure you're subscribed really does help. We are on our way to 6,000 subscribers now, guys. I'd love to try and get there before the end of the year. That's a goal that I've set for myself. So if you can help me out in that and hit that subscribe button, it would be really appreciated. And as always, guys, it leaves me with just enough time to say stay well, keep safe, and until next time, may the Force be with you.